is Today's Planet, the show where I pick out different science-based news that you might have not heard about, but you should definitely know about. Today I'll be covering how the U.S. Justice Department and the state of Arkansas are legal tag teaming against ExxonMobil. Then we'll go to the Himalayas and look at the interesting partnership between NGO Panthera and Buddhist monks. And then finally, 3D printing and its future in your kitchen.
For the first time in maybe its history, Arkansas made international news, but unfortunately, not in a positive light. To give you some backstory, as some of you may have heard, back in late March, the Pegasus pipeline bursted in Mayflower, Arkansas. The pipe spilled about 10,000 barrels of crude tar sand oil on its way from Alberta to Texas. Check this out.
But the smell is unbelievable. I mean, look.
The spill reportedly killed hundreds of animals, land and aquatic, and after cleaning up the neighborhood, Exxon deemed it safe. But many confirm when they drive through on the highway that they can smell a smell that they've never smelled before. Well, justice is finally, fingers crossed, being served by the U.S. Justice Department and the state of Arkansas. The two are jointly suing ExxonMobil for violations of waste and pollution laws. And as the case unfolds, I plan to give you guys updates.
In fuzzier news, Panthera is a big cat conservation NGO that has teamed up with Buddhist monks in order to further their efforts in preserving the snow leopard. The species faced a host of issues, namely poaching, depleted prey, rising global temperatures. All these factors have contributed to a massive population drop. It turns out the monks are a perfect candidate for this conservation effort. Not only are the monks well respected in their communities, but much like the snow leopard, they prefer isolated, quiet places to meditate. The monks keep track of the leopards and communicate their endangerment to locals. In other words, hey, don't shoot them. And potentially, this strategy could grow, and there are hopes to expand to most of the snow leopard's habitat.
3D printing. Although it might have seemed like a thing of the future just 5 years ago, the technology is being developed every single day by universities and private companies. And as our world becomes more resource hungry by the minute, this type of technology holds a lot of potential. And there are stories of printing anything from houses to guns, and what you might not realize is that food falls in between those lines. You might soon live in a world where you can print a pizza, a cake, or a sandwich. And it sounds ridiculous, but Ongjon Contractor of Systems and Materials Research Corporation has earned a $125,000 grant from NASA to see if the work is feasible. The way it works is that there's a food cartridge, kind of like one for sugar, one for proteins, one for carbohydrates. And the printer's told how much of each to print out, and it prints the food you want. Take a look. Exhilarating. Of course, this kind of brings up a lot of mixed feelings. On the one hand, you have a way to feed a very fast, very quickly growing population. But then on the other, who's going to be able to afford this printer? And do I have to eat paste for the rest of my life? And this all brings up the even bigger question of, once the world population is 9 billion people, are you going to have a choice? Are we going to have a choice?
Alright guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next time. My name's Andrew Dugan, and this is Today's Planet.